This is a beginner's game of Warp's Edge. I've played a couple of games, but I still have not internalized all the rules. The last time I played, I forgot, I think, one of the most essential rules, that if you take damage to your shields, you have to permanently remove tokens from your discard, which I think is a fairly important rule. It has downsides, but it also has upsides, because this is, I guess, the main mechanism for deck building, to actually get rid of the tokens you don't like. But losing tokens generally means that you have shorter warps, which I guess increases the difficulty more than it helps. But again, I'm not an expert yet, so let's see how it works. So before we start with the first warp, I get a skill. First choice is the small black hole. Second choice is advanced maneuver. So the small black hole requires 2 maneuver tokens, and I can prevent all damage this turn. That sounds nice. The advanced maneuver requires 2 energy to activate. Targets require 1 less maneuver to evade this turn, which is also quite nice. I think I will go with the advanced maneuver, since evading enemies generally seems to give it the better rewards, and this helps greatly with this. And since I'm using Achilles, still with the very basic setup, which has the overdrive power, it might be easier for Achilles to actually evade enemies than with other ships. And this basic setup also contains the mothership, the Dread, so very simple setup. So I put the advanced maneuvering here, and the small black hole goes at the bottom of the pile. We then start with pilot plans, so I'm drawing 5 of my 11 starting tokens. So I've drawn a lot of energy, 1 evade or maneuver token and 1 laser, which is not that good actually, because I will have to stun or defeat 4 enemies, and I don't think I can do that with this distribution of tokens. Let's see. The enemy arrivals are 1 mercenary, a Viper, a Reaver, and a Fury. The Viper is a very good example that I generally want to evade it in the beginning, because I get a level 2 laser token instead of just drawing 3 from the back, which in the first 2 warps I think just cuts your warp too short. Later it might be interesting to kill it instead. What I'm seeing here is in general that I have a lot of drawing potential with these enemies. The Reaver will give me the Photon Blast. The Photon Blast counts as 2 lasers against 2 adjacent enemies, so that sounds quite powerful. The Reaver also has the ability to, at the end of each turn, discard all laser tokens from this enemy. So if I stun it with lasers, these lasers will be gone, they will not accumulate. Alright, so with this much energy, I probably want to buy something. I will not be able to prevent shield damage, but if I keep my token discard empty, I will at least not have to remove tokens from the game. I could also right away use my advanced maneuver with 2 energy to then completely evade one of the enemies. But I don't think that's a wise choice, because the energy I spend for advanced maneuver will then go to the discard pile, and I will then have to remove it from the game. Okay, so let's start evading the Viper and then stun 1 more enemy. If I stun the Reaver, the token will be useless. If I stun anything else, my shield will be completely depleted, and it will cost me more than 1 energy to recharge it. But I think I want to start on a mercenary with the laser, stun this. I will keep the 2 energy, so I'm able to activate advanced maneuvering later. Well, if I buy something, I will also have to remove it from the game, because they go to the discard. So I didn't take that into account. So I'm already in a kind of a pickle here. Alright, so let's rethink what we are doing here. I think it might be a better play to activate advanced maneuvering. So our 1 maneuvering token actually allows us to evade an enemy, and I will evade the Reaver because it allows us to draw 3 tokens. In this particular instance, it will cut my run shorter, but it does mean that I'm not losing tokens, or I might not lose tokens from shield damage, because I have 3 more tokens to deal with all these enemies. It's not the most preferred thing I want to do, but it sounds like a good idea. And if I'm lucky, I will draw more maneuver tokens, and then I can evade more enemies. That sounds really better than my first plan I had in mind. So this enemy is defeated because of the advanced maneuvering. With 1 maneuver token, I'm evading it, and my reward is 3 tokens from the bag. So I draw 2 more laser tokens and 1 maneuver token, which is really nice, since this means I can evade either the Viper or the Fury. Well, actually, technically I could evade all of them, but I really want this level 2 laser or these 2 rewards. But I think I want the level 2 laser more. So the Viper is evaded as well, and I'm adding a level 2 laser token to the bag. These 2 are discarded after I get my rewards. So this actually puts me in a good position here, because then I can defeat 1 more enemy and stun the other, so I'm taking no shield damage at all, which is much preferable. Do I want to kill the Fury and draw 3 tokens? This will not build up my bag, so this might not be advisable to do. Yes, so I think I will go with the level 2 laser here and just destroy the mercenary. This will give me a level 1 energy token. which I put into the bag. This is discarded, which means I can stun the Fury with a laser. And unless I want to put this on hold, I will probably assign it here as well, so I can defeat it later more easily. But then again, if I'm buying anything for 2, which is, I guess, advisable to not go for the cheap stuff, then I will put the laser on hold here. So for 2, I cannot buy a power. I can buy a maneuver token, a level 1 energy or level 2 laser. I think I will pay these 2 to add a level 2 laser token to the bag. So this is one of the decisions where I'm not sure yet if anything else would be better or preferable. I don't think adding another level 1 energy to the bag is superior to this, but it might be that the maneuver token is more valuable in this situation because I already added a level 2 laser. But we will see. So this was the pilot action step. So now the enemies attack, but the Fury was stunned by my laser, so the laser goes here. And that's it for the enemies, which brings us to pilot planning. But the advanced maneuvering is now exhausted. All right, so my second turn starts with a Warhammer. 2 of the level 2 laser tokens I added to the bag, a level 1 laser and 1 maneuver token. And I still have my level 1 that I put on hold. The enemy arrivals are a Spider, a Berserk, and a Silence. So we are in the level 2 enemy range by now. These are really dangerous for me, of course, with 3 damage. They would completely deplete my shield and mean that I have to permanently remove 3 tokens from the game. So we want to avoid that. And the Berserk in particular cannot be stunned by lasers. So I have 2 options. I can either Warhammer it and just destroy it, which would give me an R of my power tokens, which is the randomizer, which I'm not the biggest fan of yet. Or I can assign a maneuver token to try to outmaneuver it later. But then again, it would only draw me 3 tokens. The Silence needs 3 maneuver, which I probably can't accumulate yet. So this would also be a target to Warhammer, and I would get the level 2 energy token instead. Let's see how much tokens we have in the back yet. I'm allowed to feel that. And there's just 1 token left, which I guess has to make sense because we start with 11. I have drawn 2 times 5 plus 3 for the reward for the Reaver, which are 13. And we added probably 3 to the bag, which would leave 1, which sounds good. So if we add tokens, I can then destroy the Fury to immediately draw them. So that is something to keep in mind. So one of the level 2 lasers will later be used to blast down the Fury, but I should concentrate on getting tokens first. Okay, so the Berserk has 6 hull. So the Warhammer would be more efficient on it. It would give me a randomizer that doesn't help me too much, to be honest, at least not with this warp. I could defeat the Silence, but this would only give me more energy. If I defeat the Spider, I get the level 1 laser, which then I immediately draw, but it doesn't help me as well. I'm actually not sure what the remaining token in the bag actually is. I should know that. So it has to be one of the starting tokens, because I have a Warhammer, 3 energy, 3 maneuver, and actually no, it's 4 lasers. So it's something that we added to the bag, so it's an energy. Okay. Well, if we defeat the Silence, then we get up to 3 energy, which allows us to buy a power. That sounds good. So let's do that, I guess. Let's Warhammer the Silence. This means it's defeated. I add a level 2 energy token to the bag. Warhammer goes here. I then assign 3 lasers to the Spider. I would love to await that to get a better reward, but there's no chance to do that. So let's do this. The Spider is defeated. I add a level 1 energy laser token to the bag. These are discarded. I will then assign 2 lasers to the Fury, which means it's now also defeated, which allows me to draw. And this exactly draws the remaining tokens from the bag, which I would not be able to see otherwise in this run. These are discarded. I assign a maneuver to the Berserk, so it does not assign 3 damage to me. And I cannot stun it with lasers. The 2 lasers, unfortunately, are not enough to kill it. I could keep one of them in my hold, which I should do actually, because it's just 1 more token I see earlier. Which leaves me with 3 energy to buy, as I said, a power or some more advanced token. We haven't seen an enemy yet that gives me a Warhammer or a Photon Blast or an Overdrive. Actually anything besides the randomizer. So not sure what to go for here. Let's avoid the Warhammer because I already have one. So I would really go for Overdrive or Photon Blast. And since I have advanced maneuvering, I should really spend these 3 energy to get an Overdrive. Because this means it's maneuver against 2 enemies, and if I activate advanced maneuvering, this could lead to me being able to evade both of them, which sounds really good. Alright, so these are the pilot actions, and the enemy attack phase means the Berserk is stunned, and the pilot planning just means I can draw the 1 token I just added, which ends the current warp. Alright, I feel that was quite good actually. I've added a bit of energy. I've added 2 level 2 laser tokens, which are good, a level 1 laser token, which I'm keeping in the hold between warps, and an overdrive, which is really, really, really good. I can't stress that enough. So my maneuvering will undeplete. The bag is empty, and we do shuffle everything back in. We then give the cards a good shuffle. So the ones we have already seen. We do still have all the level 3s and 2 level 2s. So we didn't dive too deep into the enemy line yet, which means we will have an easier time with the starting enemies. So the warp counter increases and I get another skill. The choice is between adaptive nanofiber and the palm device. The adaptive nanofiber needs to be activated just once and it stays active for the remainder of the game. I have to remove 3 energy tokens from the game, but then I can prevent 1 damage in step 3, which is good. The palm device requires 1 energy to activate, and I choose 1 token from my pool and remove it from the game, again 1 token from the supply. So this is pretty much a way to upgrade my tokens. If the palm device really allows me to get any token I want from the supply, that sounds really strong. It will go to the bag first, but then again, ignoring 1 point of damage every turn 3 or step 3, that sounds really good as well. So I think I'm leaning for the moment to adaptive nanofiber, and let's go with this. This leads us to pilot planning. I give the bag a good shuffle and draw my first 5 tokens. So lots of basic stuff and 1 advanced laser. And the enemy rivals are a Fury, a Spider, a Mercenary, and a Viper. So still just level 1 enemies. So I'm moving this out of the hold, which means I have lots of lasers. So let's see what we actually want to defeat here. Again, with a Fury and a Viper that all make me draw. This will again cut the warp short. Not sure if I want to do that or not. I think I should not blast 2 of them down. So let's go with the maneuver token on the Viper to work on the level 2 laser. I will stun the Spider. I will defeat the Mercenary. Well, I will have to defeat the Fury then as well, unless I'm storing the level 2 laser and look for what else I get. If I draw more tokens, I might be able to evade more of the ships by activating advanced maneuvering, but it's a gamble. So I'd rather see more enemies. Let's store the 2 laser, level 2 laser, and use the 1 to stunning Fury. But then again, it would only exchange 2 enemies, but it would allow... No, it would only change 1. So this seems also to be a pivotal point. Do I want to go slow here and rather draw a new hand? Or do I want to kill one of the enemies that make me draw and then see what else I can do with the added tokens? All right, let's try this. Evading the Fury is not that interesting to me. So let's kill it with 3 laser tokens and see what we draw before we decide more. Actually, these are only discarded after I get my reward, but it shouldn't make a difference in this case. So I'm adding 3 more tokens to my token pool. And I have drawn the overdrive and the Warhammer. So this could mean I should activate advanced maneuvering and then just evade 2 enemies with the overdrive. Let's do this. Let's put it here, I think. So this 1 maneuver token counts for both, and due to advanced maneuvering, I'm evading the Viper and the Mercenary at the same time. So level 2 and the level 1 laser added to my bag. So level 2 laser, level 1 laser, both added to the bag. The overdrive is discarded, which leaves me with the Spider, and I think I will just defeat it to get another level 1 laser token to the bag. These are discarded. I will hold my Warhammer for the hopefully more impressive enemies, and unfortunately the maneuver token will then be discarded. So this was a classic example of playing too hasty. Let's put the maneuver token back. Let's put the Spider back, because if I can just assign this here, instead of assigning 3 lasers, not sure what combination this was, I think a combination like this, then this with the advanced maneuvering will also mean I outmaneuver the Spider. So I get a level 2 laser instead. So I'm taking level 1 laser back from the bag and add a level 2 instead. This will mean these lasers go to waste, but I think it's a better play because I just got a better token as the net difference. The advanced maneuvering is then exhausted and we go to pilot planning. So lots of lasers, 1 maneuver and 1 energy. The enemy rivals are a Silence, a Berserk with the randomizer, a Reaver, so back to level 1 enemies, and a Marauder. So this one is new. Unfortunately, this is also an enemy that makes us draw if we defeat it. And it gives us a maneuver token and level 2 laser if evaded. We should have some evasion left in the bag, but only 2 points. That would not be enough unless we add an evasion token. So the Reaver will give us a Photon Blast if defeated. So this would be a target for Warhammer. Let's see how much tokens we have actually left in the bag. So these are enough, I think, to play another turn. That's good information. And if we get to 3 energy, we should really activate the adaptive nanofiber at some point. Let's see how many tokens we exactly have. So this is open information. It's a bit hard to count. I think something like 6, because I'm thinking about just warhammering the Marauder to draw. But this would mean we have to add 2 other tokens to get another turn, if my math is right. We would have to go from 6 to 8 to draw 3 and still have 5 left in the bag. Okay, so if we would kill the Reaver to get a Photon Blast, it's 1 token, but there's really no chance to defeat anything else. So that's not a good plan. Well, the 3 lasers to the Reaver is probably a good plan, because it would give us a Photon Blast. I think we will Warhammer the Berserk and go with the randomizer and see what happens. Let's do that. So 3 lasers to the Reaver means it's defeated. I get a Photon Blast. The Warhammer defeats the Berserk, which adds a randomizer to the bag. We then have to deal with a Silence and a Marauder. If I can evade any of the 2, I would rather evade the Marauder for the better reward. So I'm assigning the laser to stun the Silence, keep the energy in my hold. In the enemy attacks, the Marauder is stunned, Silence is stunned. Pilot planning means I'm drawing 5 new tokens. So these are a lot of energy, a randomizer and 2 lasers. The enemy arrivals are a Flame and a Destroyer. So this is the level 3 enemy, the first we see. The Flame will actually give us another Photon Blast or a Warhammer. So it's a way to get to good power tokens. And Destroyer will mean we can either gain a skill on evasion, or we can get a level 2 laser and a maneuver token. So this, I think, is a good target for the Warhammer. So we should really use the randomizer and think about what's left in the bag. So how many tokens do we have in the bag? It's at least 3. One of them will be a maneuver token, I think, because we still have one of the starting tokens. Then there will be another starting laser that's left and something else, which I just can't remember. So unless it's also a laser, I think the chance for saying maneuver or laser are pretty much the same. Could it be energy? But it doesn't matter, it wouldn't change the chance. So let's say laser, because if I misremember what the last token is, laser might give me actually a better chance. And it's a Photon Blast, so I should have remembered that, but it does not count as a laser token anyway, so drawing a power token means the randomizer doesn't do anything for us. So I will remove these 3 tokens from the game. I just keep them at the adaptive nanofiber to mark it's active now, which means we now can prevent 1 damage per step 3, so the enemy attack step. We only have 2 tokens left in the bag, so if we don't get 3 tokens, there will not be another turn, and I don't think that's possible. So these alone are 6 damage already, which would, for example, allow me to defeat the Flame. Okay, so with the Photon Blast and 2 lasers, I can stun everything. Nothing is stun immune here. So the real question is, what do I want to defeat? And if I do not want to get any shield damage, I can assign exactly 2 damage to everything, which would defeat nothing, basically, unfortunately. So do I want to take shield damage? The special ability of the Achilles says that if I'm getting destroyed, I will just be restored to full hull and shield, which means that if I get 3 damage only, I would start the next war without a shield and get rid of 3 tokens. If I'm blocking even fewer enemies, I will also get destroyed and my shield be restored. So I think if I go for this, I should really just let them destroy me. This plan could mean that I can defeat more enemies. Is this true? Because I then can concentrate my 8 damage that I hear on like splitting them 4-4 or 2-6. But 2-6 would not destroy the Silence, and 4-4 would also destroy nothing. So that's really not helping. Nevertheless, I would say we put the Photon Blast here, destroy the Flame to get another Photon Blast. So we add that to the bag. This Photon Blast goes here. These are discarded. I will hold on to my 2 energy. And that's it for the pilot actions. The enemy attacks then mean that the Silence is stunned, but I'm getting 5 damage, which completely goes through my shield and destroys me. But as per the Achilles special power, I'm being completely restored and the warp ends. But I have to discard 3 tokens permanently from my discard. And I think I will take out the level 1 laser tokens here, because I've added lots of laser tokens already and Photon Blast. And the question is, what's the third one? Another level 1 laser, or do I go with a level 1 energy instead? I have removed energy already from the game for the adaptive nanofiber. Let's just do that. Not sure if it's a good decision or not, but I do need energy from time to time. Okay, so we clean up. The enemies are being shuffled together to form a new pile. And my adaptive maneuvering is refreshed again. We add 1 to the warp count and get a new skill. The choice is between the upgraded battery and the fateful lasers. So the upgraded battery allows me to assign energy tokens as laser tokens. That's good if you have a lot of energy, but then again, you probably don't want to go deep into energy just to have one turn where it can count as lasers. I think this card is really meant for an awful draw. If you are stuck with lots of energy tokens with a full line of enemy fighters, then you're pretty much screwed unless you have something like this where you can just activate it and then stun everything. But the Fateful Lasers mean that laser tokens assigned to targets this turn, and target means enemy cards as well as the mothership count as double their value. And seeing that I have added so many level 2 lasers already, this sounds really, really good. I will put that in between here because this is permanently active now already. And the other one goes down to the bottom of the deck. Pilot plans. So lots of starting tokens. And the enemy rivals are a Spider, a Marauder, a Reaver, and a Silence. So taking this out of the hold, I could already activate Fateful Lasers, seeing that we have a bit more advanced enemies here lying already. Or I could use Advanced Maneuvering to, for example, evade both the Reaver and the Spider. I think I'll try that. So let's activate Advanced Maneuvering and just evade the Reaver completely, since I already have 2 Photon Blasts, and just stunning it with a level 1 laser will be inefficient. So we draw 3 more tokens, and with any luck we draw the Overdrive. So I did not draw the Overdrive, but 2 Photon Blasts and a level 2 laser. So this is discarded, which means I will use the other maneuvering to evade the Spider, which gives us a level 2 laser token. And then we are left with a lot of firepower. So these 2 will kill the Silence, and we get a level 2 energy. And these 2 Photon... No, I will store Photon Blast for later. That's obviously more efficient. But to not lose this, I will assign all these here. And with this level 1 energy, I think this is actually discarded once I pay it. And now it's depleted. This goes to waste. And in the enemy attack phase, the Marauder is stunned. And we'll move this up here. Okay, so the pilot plans are a Warhammer, lots of lasers, and a randomizer. Enemy arrivals are a Flame. It could also give me my last Photon Blast, the Fury, and the Mercenary. Okay, so let's use the randomizer. I think I'm just saying lasers because we have so many in the bag. And it's a laser. Okay, so the randomizer worked out. If this is the type you choose, gain 1 power token from supply and add it to your pool. So any power token. Alright, so I don't want a randomizer, I know that much. Do I want an Electrobot? That could be interesting, especially for the mothership, because it just, after I destroy one section, it just hops to the next one. So it counts as more damage. But I think with my advanced maneuvering, I really want to get another overdrive, and I haven't seen any enemies that specifically give me this result. So let's go with an overdrive. Alright, so the Warhammer and lots of firepower. So there's not really a question on how to defeat the enemies. It's rather a question of how many. So the Marauder needs 2 more damage. So a single Photon Blast will do. I think I will also work on the Flame at the same time. Unless I want to just Warhammer the Flame, then this would go here. But if I defeat the Fury, I should do that to begin with, just to see what else I draw and not let it go to waste. If I put that here, it's already... So no matter where I put it, it will destroy an enemy. I really don't think I want to draw. So maybe I put it here, which will keep it almost destroyed. This will destroy the Mercenary. This is already destroyed. And then the Flame, I could load up a lot of damage. Okay, so if I move that here, yeah, that sounds better. So I could keep the Warhammer. I kill the Mercenary with a level 2 laser. It gives me a level 1 energy token. I will stun the Fury. I will Photon Blast the Marauder, which is then... this also lets me draw. I forgot about that. Alright. Well, there's no point in dragging that out, so I will kill it. These are discarded. I will draw 3 tokens. Oh my gosh, it's 2 overdrives and a maneuver token. Okay, so I think I will outmaneuver, or I will evade the Flame to get another Warhammer. Let's do this. Yes, there's no way to... Yeah, let's do that. So I get a Warhammer. This doesn't feel too efficient. What can I do? If I now destroy the Fury as well, I will even discard more tokens before I can do anything. Because the mothership is still protected and I have enemies to come. So let's assign 2 here. The rest goes to waste. Are there any 5 tokens left? That's the big question now. But one step at a time. I will keep the Warhammer for the more complicated enemies. The Fury is stunned and the pilot plans are... So these are exactly 5 tokens left in the back. So it's the second Warhammer, another laser and a fair bit of energy. And the enemy arrivals are a Viper, a destroyer, which we haven't seen yet, I think. We might have seen it. And a berserk. Yeah, we must have seen it because this is a level 2 enemy. So there are 2 level 3 remaining. Okay, but this means we can just kill the destroyer and get these nice rewards. Skill would also be interesting, but there's no way to evade it anyway. So I will do that. This gives me a level 2 laser and 1 maneuver token. This discards the Warhammer. So I would have to add 3 more tokens to the bag, which is possible actually. So the Warhammer on the Berserk gives me a randomizer. So that's the 3rd one. I then hold on to my level 2 laser and buy 2 things. The thing here is I could draw, but then I would not see the other enemies. And I think we have to progress to these enemies and to the Dread in particular, because we are in the 3rd warp and we are nowhere near actually damaging the Dread. So do I buy a cheap token and an expensive one? I think I will do that. I will go for 3 energy for a level 3 laser, so I can double it later with the Fateful Lasers, and with the level 1, no, with the 1 energy token, I will go for a level 1 laser. Since I do not stun anything, I will get 2 damage. So my shield goes down 2. And I have to remove 2 tokens from the game. I just bought a level 1 laser, so this is a wash. What else to remove? I think I will also remove another level 1 laser here. So these was the enemy's attacks. So Pilot Plans draws me the full content of the bag, if I did not miscalculate, and that's correct. So the randomizer we just got, and lots of lasers. Enemy arrivals are a siphon and a glaive. Alright, so the glaive will just destroy me if I let it through. What to do here? So the randomizer will just allow me to draw the last token if I get one into the bag and add another power. So maybe this is where the power comes from with these randomizers. So these are exactly 8 damage, which would defeat the siphon. If I want to draw, well, I can draw whatever I want with the randomizer. That's also strong. I think I'm starting to realize why randomizers are good. Because I could, for example, defeat the glaive with 7 lasers, then add 2 tokens back to the bag. And if I add Warhammers, for example, I can just draw one of them. I will not be able to add a token because Warhammer is nothing I can predict correctly. But with the Warhammer, I can then kill the Siphon, recharge my shield. I will then have a token left to stun either the Fury or the Viper. Or I could, with the last... Yeah, so maybe I go with 7 damage on the Glaive, which would destroy it, allow me to choose 2 tokens from the discard and put them back into the bag. And then I can just draw them with defeating the Fury. So let's say I'm putting a Warhammer back for the Siphon. Let's do it like this. I put the Warhammer back into the bag and I put something like an evade token back. Let's do that. So if you put them into the bag, let's go slow here. This was from defeating the Glaive. Then I play the randomizer. I announce maneuver token. Now I have a 50-50 chance to get any token I want. If I get it, I can draw the Warhammer by defeating the Fury. If not, I will have pulled the Warhammer directly. So we are unlucky, basically, because the randomizer gave me the Warhammer. So the maneuvering is still in there. I can then defeat the Fury to draw that. Not that it's important, actually. The Warhammer will defeat the Siphon. I get another maneuver token to the bag. I will recharge my shield. This enemy is destroyed. And I don't think I want to get rid of the protection of the mothership. Or do I? It would give me a level 2 laser in exchange for thinning out my deck even further. You know what? I don't have the experience yet. Let's try that out. So we are evading the Viper and getting a level 2 laser token as a reward to the bag. I will remove another level 1 laser, but I will definitely remove a level 1 energy as well. I do need... Actually, let's stick with the laser and remove another level 1 energy. Because this means I have lots of firepower. And the energy I only need to activate my skills or to recharge my shields, which I hope with this much of firepower I won't need. Okay, but that's warp 3. I have nothing in my hold. I haven't used Fateful Lasers, unfortunately. The advanced maneuver refreshes. The tokens go back into the bag. The enemy deck is fully shuffled, so I have to burn through them really quickly and then blast the mothership in one warp. That sounds challenging. Let's see. So we're entering the last warp, and I get another skill, which is the old necklace or the Dazzling Flare. So Dazzling Flare allows me to evade one enemy but to not gain its reward, just for 1 maneuver token. I have lots of them, so that would be good. Ignore all mothership attacks and abilities this turn. So the abilities are not the mothership powers at the top. The abilities would be abilities within the sections, which it doesn't have any, but it would still allow me to ignore all attacks for 1 turn. So if I really go all out with lasers and have nothing to evade, might not be the worst thing. Evading enemy without the reward. No, I think I will go for the necklace if I want to have any chance to feed the mothership in one warp. So pilot plans. We draw a warhammer, 2 lasers, a randomizer, and a maneuver. The enemy arrivals are a destroyer, a berserk, a spider, and a fury. I'm tempted to just warhammer the destroyer to get more tokens again, because I've thinned out my back quite a lot, and it would mean it's the worst enemy anyway. Let's just activate the randomizer first and say laser, and then draw a photon blast, which is not a laser token. But this is a lot of firepower already. I think I will photon blast the fury. It would be inefficient, but it would allow me to get 3 more tokens. And even if I kill this, there's still a lot of enemies left. No, I will keep that for later. Okay, let's warhammer the destroyer. I think that's pretty clear. So this gives me a level 2 laser token and a maneuver token. This cannot be stunned by lasers, so we'll rather defeat it. So these are 6. This moves here, these are discarded. I get the last randomizer to my deck. The spider is already stunned, so I will evade or outmaneuver the fury, which means they are both stunned and don't deal any damage. And I'm drawing from my bag for the next run. So lasers, photon blast, and a randomizer. And we are adding a wiper and a siphon. Again, a randomizer. I'm still announcing laser. And we get an overdrive. Okay, no energy yet. Let's do this. Blast away the fury to draw 3. So there's 2 energy and a maneuver token. So this could be the time to activate advanced maneuvering, since it doesn't really help against the mothership anyway. But it will allow me to get another power token, a level 3 laser. So advanced maneuvering, overdrive. This will give me a level 2 laser right away because it's easier to evade. I need just 1 more maneuver to also evade the siphon. This gives me a level 3 laser token and a power token where I think, do I want to get the last warhammer or do I want more overdrives? Let's go with overdrive because it can help evade also the mothership sections in the first approach at least. So this is all discarded. So we store the photon blast and we do not want to kill this yet. That's a bit unfortunate waste, but what can you do? So this is stunned. Pilot planning says lots of lasers, bit of energy and a maneuver token. Enemy arrivals are a silence, a glaive, and a mercenary. Okay, putting back tokens into the bag with this lots of drawing power sounds like a good idea. So I will probably photon blast. Yeah, I have 1 left in the bag. Let's put it here to just clear them. So this is a level 1 energy token. The Viper is really annoying. Let's kill it and see what we get. So 3 more tokens are a warhammer, more energy, and a laser, which means that I could just warhammer the glaive now. No, I will store that. I shouldn't be so fast to say no. Let's warhammer the glaive. This means I can re-add 2 tokens to the bag. Let's take a level 3 laser, probably a randomizer. No, this will just deplete me faster. The warhammer won't do anything against the mothership, so I'm hesitant to take that. Let's take a photon blast, since these are also, well, 4 damage, up to 4 damage. So I put them back into the bag. These are discarded. I will then kill the silence, get level 2 energy token, and I will store energy to activate my abilities later. So these are unfortunately discarded. There are no enemies left, so the enemy rivals are a Marauder, a Flame, and a Reaver. This is actually not that bad because drawing could mean I can just blast through the mothership with a really good Fateful Laser turn. I should have made pilot plans first. So an overdrive, level 3 laser, 2 energy. Okay, so this I want to destroy, I think. This I also want to destroy. This I could actually evade to draw. So if I want to destroy them both, the photon blast goes here. Could draw a lot now. That would also... Let's just go for it. Evading the Reaver means I draw 3, and then blasting the Marauder with the photon blast means I draw 3. So I'm drawing 6 tokens, 2, 4, and as it turns out, that's the full content of the bag. So I will activate the Fateful Lasers now, which means this adds 4 damage to the photon blast, so it's 6 in total. The flame is destroyed, I get the last photon blast, which I will then immediately draw with the randomizer. And now I'm left with these tokens, which doesn't sound like I can defeat the mothership. So this will destroy 1 section. This will this doesn't count double. No, it's not a laser token. But this counts double, so this will defeat this section. I can evade the middle section, but I won't have another turn and I can't really draw anything else. So this will destroy this, and I get a level 3 laser token to the bag. This destroys this section. I get a level 3 energy token to the bag, which means I would need 6 more damage, which is just 1 level 3 laser token. So I did use the randomizer to immediately draw the photon blast, which was okay, because using that after destroying the section that gives me level 3 laser, if it would give me this instead, I would not have enough firepower as well. So I think it's a very close call. We might have removed too many tokens from the bag. This might be a lesson learned here. So this is why we did not have yet another turn, because any other turn would probably mean that we can defeat it if we have enough lasers. So 6 damage is missing. I would not be destroyed here, but the warp immediately ends now because I cannot draw 5 tokens. I just added 2 from the mothership. Yeah, I think that's it. So this rule that I missed makes the game much more interesting, I would say, because you can spend more time on back building, but it also makes it much more valuable to not just take damage to your shield and just recharge with using energy. I like it. I like a challenge. So this was a close call. I hope you enjoyed this game of Warp's Edge.